welcome back to Otaku no Video. As always, thank you very much for joining me for my review of the first 3 episodes of the new Iron Man anime. You'd be asking, what is this? Well, this was announced as the Madhouse animation of a story by Warren Ellis, and this is one of the 2 reasons why I really wanted to watch this. A story by Warren Ellis, who wrote Transmetropolitan. He's a hugely influential and popular comic book writer. He actually wrote some Iron Man stories, including Extremis, which is the first reboot of Iron Man and was essentially modernized the character in a lot of ways. So big that he's providing the Iron Man story for this, done entirely in Japan by Madhouse. The other reason I wanted to watch this is because Tony Stark is voiced by the guy who voiced Ali Al-Sarchez in Gundam 00. Now, if you've seen 00, you know that Ali is a raging egomaniac, playboy, fun-loving guy. Perfect for Tony Stark, and sure enough, he's perfect in this role. And the rest of the voice acting cast does quite well in their roles. The basic setup is that Tony Stark has gone over to Japan to install an arc reactor and provide energy for the Japanese in return for various stuff. And the show takes an interesting twist at that point. So one of the things I like about it is the fact that it deals a lot with the Japanese reaction to someone like Tony Stark, someone who's a military contractor, merchant of death, all that kind of stuff. They're a lot touchier about that stuff than we are over here in America. And yes, Iron Man's dealt with this in the past, but it's good to see that focused on in more detail and see how the Japanese would react to that, how the Japanese would react to essentially a nuclear reactor being built on their soil, all that kind of stuff. It's interesting. Unfortunately, the plot is taking forever to actually go anywhere from an action perspective. This is a big Rock'em Sock'em Robots story, and we're 3 episodes in. We know the name of the bad guys. We have some hints dropped here and there, but we're still waiting for some information on exactly what's going on. I mean, it's basically, there's bad guys out there, and Tony's starting to fight them. We're 3 episodes into a 12-episode series. So I'm surprised it's taking us that long to spin up. Now, just because Warren Ellis provided the story doesn't mean that he wrote the thing. There is a series supervisor and a script supervisor and writers and so forth, all Japanese. So somewhere along the lines, this turned into a long-form story. To be fair, Warren Ellis himself tends towards long-form stories. He knows how much time he has, and he fills that appropriately. So you don't expect the first episode or 2 to be incredibly, amazing in terms of exciting, because he's establishing stuff for later. Now, I don't want to give the idea that this is a boring first couple episodes. The action animation is very well done. It's by Madhouse. Now, Madhouse is not known for doing stunningly realistic animation, I'll put it that way. They've always been stylized, and they've always known how to use their budget very well. The action scenes look good, everything else is budgeted appropriately to accomplish what it needs to. But it's not Ghibli, I'll put it that way. It's not even Kyoto Animation. Madhouse does what it does, and it does what it needs to with its budgets. So the action animation in this looks great, everything I wanted from it. The rest of it is kind of stiff, to be honest. And again, it's not a bash against Madhouse, it's just the way they do things. And one of the problems with that is the fact that the battles are Iron Man battles. They're vicious and brutal and pretty short, because it's large robots bashing at each other, and at some point they get damaged, and then the fight gets very, overpowered on one way or the other very quickly. So every episode has had a satisfying action sequence in it, but they're quick. And the rest of it is Tony Stark running around Japan, dealing with problems, and there's a reporter who's cute, who's following him around, and she's kind of a ditz. And basically, those are the 2 main characters. Tony and Nanami, the ditz. Pepper Potts is still back in America. So, I kind of like there to be more going on, is what I'm saying. Granted, we're only a quarter way in. I don't know. But I got to admit, I'm getting a little tired of it at this point. I'm still on board. I'm planning to watch more of it, but I got to admit, I was hoping for a bit more than what I got, and it's just kind of gotten a little dull. It's gotten to be Tony Stark running around, an occasional fight sequence, but there's no context. We don't really know what's going on. And it's not... That would work if this were a mystery story, or if this were a horror story, if this were supernatural, if there were a different kind of story. But this is it's Iron Man. It's a Marvel story. It's a big action story. Marvel shouldn't be like this. Big action story shouldn't be like this. So, a little disappointing. But we'll see. And just want to let you all know where I am at this point and kind of what's in there at this point. Hopefully it will spin up. We'll see. If you want to drop by my website, you can talk more about this and lots of other cool anime and manga. Go to otakunovideo.net. Now, Iron Man has not been released over here in the US yet. It's been licensed for release on G4 in 2011. So it will be coming out. You can find it around if you know where to look. But it will be on American TV sometime fairly soon, I hope. So if you've seen Iron Man, I would like to see what you think of it, because interesting. And until next time, thanks for watching. May you find more exciting anime.